Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel for Heroes and Villains ranking. It's been about 2 years since Battlefront 2 has had any updates, so I felt like it made sense to give my 2 cents since each character's fighting abilities are pretty much set in stone. To make a few things clear, first, this video is going to be my own personal view of what's the best lightsaber heroes and villains, since I barely use blaster heroes. What really helped me make this list was thinking about how difficult it is to survive as a lightsaber hero in Hero Showdown against other lightsaber duelists, as well as being out on infantry maps such as Supremacy or Galactic Assault. And finally, you may see a favorite of yours in the lower rankings of this video. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean I think they're bad characters. I just feel like my personal experience makes quite a few of them more circumstantial. But even under the right conditions where they can shine, there are better characters to choose from who cover what makes them good and more, but I do think every hero can be good in the right hands. Now for our first ranking, and unfortunately at the number 10 spot, we've got Rey. Now the weird thing is that at some point Rey was in my top 3, at least for lightsaber dueling, at some point in my Battlefront career, but someone had to come last. Because on infantry modes, although her ability Insight makes her great at tracking and can make a decent combination with her dash strike, it only travels a short distance and she doesn't really speed up that much. The ability isn't anchored, so she's still open to getting ragdolled or damaged, and her mind trick leaves her vulnerable for the 1 to 2 seconds of animations she does, which might not sound like a long time, but I found that when I'm surrounded, that small window also leaves her open to getting shot or countered. But having said all that, she is good in a fight, and I think she's got one of the best combo sequences in the game. But for me, what lets her down is how easy it is to take her out if you really applied pressure on infantry maps. Okay, now moving on to number 9, we've got Darth Maul. And I found it really difficult to choose between Rey and Maul for the number 9 spot. I find that Maul's combo sequence is also one of the weaker ones in the game since his Scarif update. His hit detection isn't as good with his spin attack, and in trooper modes half the time it barely does any damage. There isn't anything that makes him really stand out for me, but what I do like about him is how he has an answer for all situations. He can get in and out of situations in trooper modes quite quickly, and what you'll find is if you're facing someone who's better than you in lightsaber combat, Maul's abilities pretty much allow you to basically switch to a hit and run style of combat. At number 8, we have Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I cannot wait for the Kenobi series to be released. But in terms of this list, he gets the number 8 spot. Obi-Wan has by far one of the best defensive capabilities in the game. He's also one of the best at surviving, and his stamina is great when it comes to parrying. Obi-Wan's all-out push gives so much damage reduction that even if you mess it up, you won't regret using it. The amount of damage for me that Obi-Wan deals isn't great though. I think his melee sequence is the worst in the game, and I always feel quite vulnerable whenever I'm on the offensive, but if you use him correctly, Obi-Wan is a great hero in hero modes when you can block abilities. At number 7, I've picked Count Dooku. Dooku's easily one, if not the best lightsaber duelist in the entire game. The way Dooku is designed feels like he was made for lightsaber combat. I feel like his biggest strength is also his biggest weakness in hero modes. If you master Dooku, he's a force to be reckoned with, but in trooper modes, outside of situational areas and maps like the Separatist ship's corridor in Supremacy, it's quite difficult to rank him higher if we're going by his abilities overall. At number 6 is our little green friend, Master Yoda. The thing that is going for Yoda, in my opinion, is his height. I feel like when I use Yoda, if you turn his lightsaber off and he's running towards you, it's so hard to see him along with his ability to absorb incoming fire and his 2 lunges. In my opinion, he's basically untouchable, and then add that to his star card Size Matters Not, which at max gives him 50% regained health. His agility and health regeneration make Yoda one of my favorites to play with, giving you an easier time all around. I'd say that his combo sequence isn't great, and you have to time your parrying much better with Yoda, as his melee animation takes a lot longer than most heroes, leaving you at a disadvantage, but he more than makes up for it with his abilities. And like Maul, you could in theory just, play with a hit and run and play style, but that gives you, some health over time, but it's not preferred. At number 5, I've picked Kylo. I feel like Kylo has, out of all the lightsaber heroes, the most balanced out of all the heroes. Balanced abilities, should I say. And although I personally feel more confident using him in hero modes than trooper modes, I feel like he's a good pick for every mode all around. I just don't think he's the best hero, but I don't think he's the worst either, if you know what I mean. Okay, now we're getting into the nitty and gritty. For number 4, we've got the Sith Lord Anakin Skywalker. I'm joking, he's a Jedi, or is he? Never mind. If this was when Anakin was first released, easily he'd be in the number 1 spot, and I wouldn't even need to explain it. But after getting nerfed 4 or 5 times, they left him with a buggy heroic might that doesn't really work maybe 20% of the time. Anakin made the number 4 spot on my list though, because he has the second best balance in abilities in the game in my opinion. His melee is also the best, if not, at least on par with Dooku's and Vader's. And although his Passionate Strike was nerfed, it still comes in handy when you need to finish off an escaping lightsaber villain. The only complaint I mainly have is that Anakin's damage take is really horrible. At number 3, we have Luke Skywalker, and he too has some of the best abilities in the game. If this was just the hero modes ranking, I'd probably give him top 3. I don't really think he has any flaws, I just think that his abilities are more useful in hero modes than trooper modes, but they're not bad. For number 2, we've got Darth Vader. I feel like Vader is a more extreme version of Count Dooku's case, and that he's built more for lightsaber combat than anything, but he's the best lightsaber combatant in the entire game, with the best base, stupid health boost to make up for his slow speed. That lets him take a crazy whooping and still make a comeback. He's got a star card that supports his saber throw for groups, which is still devastating, even if DICE's last update nerfed it slightly. And his force choke is great if you're up close or you're looking for an opening. The number 1 spot, if you didn't know by now, it's none other than General Grievous. Flesh is weak, gives him a higher damage output. The more damage he takes makes him a tanky tank in my opinion. He closes the gap pretty well with Thrust Surge, which has a massive hitbox, and usually if you combine that with Claw Rush, which has an even bigger hitbox, put on top of that, it can be guided from any angle, and you can set yourself up to give huge damage. Claw Rush is great as well for literally any situation, and if you use Grievous's jump to dodge shots, he's practically untouchable, or at least takes minimal damage. At best, his abilities have quick cooldowns. With Sith trained, you could in theory wipe out troops on troops. But okay guys, that's going to be it for today. So if you are new to the channel, drop a sub and give us a like. And if you enjoyed the video, we'll see you in one of our live streams. Until next time, peace.
Subscribe so you can become a part of my galactic empire.